So today is quite an eventful Sunday, one that we've envisioned for a long time because a lot of us friends have gathered today to do some sort of dirt track training, adventure training, and that's all thanks to Autolog, 100 kmph, some old friends from Rubber Smoke and Angels, all coming together to doing this, the Dirt Log 100. Are you enjoying it?
Yes.
So Surajgiri, we go back a long way.
Yeah,
Bhaga.
absolutely.
Anyone who doesn't follow Surajgiri on Instagram should do that. He is our local G-Force Jarvis. And I kid you not, because this Bhaga just does a lot of enduro stuff with a lot of his friends and it's all awesome stuff. And he'll make you do all of this now over here on this new track. So Giri, before we get on to this track, first tell me, so who all are the people behind the Dirt Log?
So basically, Rash also knows Mukul very well. We are all part of Club RSA, and that's how we bond together and we want to do things together. So basically, we wanted to do this since a long time because it's a new sport. We wanted to bring the sport to India since nobody has been doing actual obstacle where we build things and do things like that. Everything is new. So we wanted to do something, but everything needs money, right? So yeah, so we tried to collaborate with 100 kmph Sid. You all know Siddharth, and then that's how the collaboration between Autolog and 100 kmph became. So we came up with the name called Dirt Log 100. That's Dirt Log and 100 makes sense. So that's how. And then we also needed some money, so we were looking for sponsors, title sponsor, co-sponsor. We're still looking. If you guys have any, please do tell us. Yeah. So that's how the thing is. Castrol has become our key partner in this. They are the main sponsor, title sponsor for our thing. So yeah, that's how we wanted to build this track. It's right now it's not completely done up yet. It's about 50 to 55% done. The obstacles are yet to come. There are a lot of main stages which are yet to be built up. So we will go through some of the tracks.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
So before we do that, can you just tell me who is going to be training people to ride on these tracks? Are you going to be training everyone?
Yeah, so there are 3 trainers. There is one of me, then another one is everybody knows Mad Manke, Rishi Manke, and then Yash Pawar. Yash Pawar is a professional MX rider. He rides for KT. He was a factory rider for TVS. So we three are sort of lead trainer for this place.
Okay, great. So Giri, just walk us through, what all is on the track. What is it called before we start?
It's called Hiccup.
Hiccups. Okay.
Yeah. Like any other track, you get a run up. So we have not given a run up. We have actually made this hiccup is like you don't get run up. You
Right.
come, you start. It's called obstacle start. You need
Okay.
to plan. It's a dead stop. You need to plan how you are going to cross over it. That's why it's called hiccup. You don't get to have a run up.
Okay.
So then you come, then this is called log pile up. So we have placed the logs in such manner that you get built your momentum from right from the first obstacle, and then you get on to the next one.
Right.
And that's how you keep building that momentum on your bike and cross over the pile up.
Okay.
And then you have to still do the same thing. You have to stay focused. You have to plan. You have to plan it that way that you always have momentum built in that thing. And you come for the next one. The next one is called step up. Step up is here where it gets a little difficult. You have to plan it right. You have to maintain the line what you are going to pick.
So line is going to be important for all three of them, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, always.
Because logs, I think, are still a little bit more forgiving to a wrong line.
Absolutely.
But on this
on
step
this,
up, you'll have to
you will
get
have
the
to
line
maintain
perfectly.
yeah, you have to plan it. You have to stay focused. You have to keep maintaining that line, and that's how you're going to end up on the other side.
Okay.
Yeah. So then after doing this, you have a little pause on your bike. You maintain your balance. You pause, and then you
want people to come and wait here for
yeah sort of wait, pause,
Catch their breath.
catch the breath, and then that's how you are going to load that front, shoot up with this first pipe that's called a kicker. You do that, you shoot up and try to go as far as possible on the tires.
Okay.
And that's how if you cover most of them on the air time, then that's how it's going to be easy and less arm pumping job.
Okay, but tires are usually quite intimidating, right? Because
Yeah,
the
because
moment
they
you
have
look
a-
at it, it just feels like
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
mean, it looks like Curve Road. It looks like any other road in India.
Yeah.
But it just psychologically just puts you a little off balance because you see so many hurdles, so many holes
Yeah.
because of the tires. So how does one get rid of that?
So the idea is to have a front which is always floating. You don't want your front forks to be compressed,
Okay.
and always keep them floating so that you have travel on your front. If you have travel, they'll keep on floating and the wheel will keep on rolling. You don't have to cover your brakes also.
Right.
And keep your rear loaded so you always have traction. Try to think in such manner that you land up on the edge of the tire and not on the center of the tire. That's how you are going to get less compression. The more you are pointed or steered towards the center of the wheel, the more you are going to get into trouble. So you don't want to do that. You want to keep that front floated all the time. Always keep your rear loaded. Get that wheel tracked onto the tires and get that bike propelled out of the thing.
Right.
Yeah, that's how we are going to do that.
Honestly, everything that he's just said, it's easier said than done. That's what you would feel. And just taking these notes is not going to help you. You'll have to come here with a motorcycle and do this. Only then you will get the hang of everything that he just said, because it sounds very technical, but that is how it is. It's all about technique. It's not about the power. It's not about what kind of a cc your bike has. You can literally have a lot of fun even with an impulse, and he's going to show you just that. But before that, we'll just continue with the walk. This looks
Yeah.
like a Mautka Kua. What is this?
This is called arm pump. That's what I said. You don't want that arm to be pumped right before our obstacle called arm pump.
Right.
So there are two lines, two different lines. People are comfortable with heights, can go up. It's basically this teaches how to be perpendicular on your bike. You always have to be perpendicular, maintain that balance, maintain that rhythm on the bike, understand where your CG is, how you want to plan the next obstacle. So basically you go up up till the center, and then you have to plan for the next one, right? So you have to have a very clear vision towards the next one, because you are just going up is not going to help you. Planning for the next one is what we are looking for. And the other one is basically rocks. Rocks are basically going to teach you how to steer through them. So we have made it a little subtle here, and not subtle on the next one. You'll get to see that later.
Okay.
Yeah, that's so basically you come down, plan the next one right when you start crossing the center of the ramp.
Right.
While you're coming down, you plan which line to take. One is basically for obvious reason. One is the novice one. One is a little difficult one. So this is
So the one on the right really looks difficult. That one really looks difficult. I mean,
yeah.
it looks intimidating.
Yeah,
More than
absolutely.
difficult, it looks intimidating.
Yeah. So basically, when you're up there, up on the ramp, you have to plan. You have to keep building that rhythm, that balance in place, and you have to stay focused onto the obstacle. So there are two things you have to always remember, that you only see two things: how to get onto it and how to get off. You don't see the middle part. You only understand that you have to bring your bike till here, and then keep that front unloaded. Let the front fork do its work. If it's going to float, you just have to steer it on the right place. That's how you going to cross this.
Okay.
Yeah. So another one is on the left. It's pretty easy. It just it's a little less wider than our rest of it. But this will also give you a understanding of how to get onto it and how to get off. It'll just make you overcome the fear of height, and making yourself disbalanced without keeping that legs down.
Okay.
That's how. And then we have our pile. This sort of two. It's a version of pile up, where we have pile up of rocks, where we have tires, and we have shortcut logs. So
Right.
this three combination will teach you how to always have a good feeling of bars, handlebars, of course. So yeah, how to get that right feel, how to get the feedback, how to read the feedback and react with that feedback. Use your surrounding into your benefit. How to dab, how to keep, or whether to dab or not. If you're only imbalanced, then only you need to dab your legs here and there. But where to dab, where exactly to keep your feet? Is it ahead? Is it right next to your pegs? Is it back? Where to do that? This is going to teach that. We always have a kicker for the obstacle. That the kicker is basically to get yourself propelled as far as possible through the first section of the obstacle.
Right.
So if you get a nice momentum built up before this kicker, you are going to land somewhere like cross over like 80% done of the rocks, and then you just have to manage through the loose. These tires are not filled, as you can see. These tires are not filled with mud into it. They are loose, and they are just going to give you a loose feedback of the traction what you have on the both wheels.
Correct.
Your front wheel also will be like synced into the tires, and your rear wheel also going to sink in. So you have to understand that how it's going to have how you are going to plow through the tires with that less traction on both wheels.
Correct.
You will not have a good steering feedback on the front also, and you will not have a good drive on your rear also.
But the technique is still the same, like we did for
Yeah,
the
the
previous,
technique
set of
always
tires
yeah.
which had the sand in it.
Yeah. So the technique is the same. You have to keep floating your front, and you have to always load your rear. Keep that weight transferred to the rear. Keep your bars away from you. Keep that front floating through the obstacle, and that's how you have to just guide through it. You don't have to do too much of it. It'll when you're throttling out, it's always going to take you out. It's not going to throw you off the bike, because you are managing, you are counter steering always. If some feedback is coming from your right, you're going to do it take it on your left. So you are always counter reacting with the each reaction what you're getting from the handlebars.
Correct.
And then these sectioned logs we have. they are loose right now because a lot of people have been through
Trying
it. I
and
think
falling and-
trying
yeah.
and falling. Yeah. So it's they are kept at this angle. You come. There's one is like right straight with the track, and then there's this next one is angled, and then another one and another one.
Yeah.
So that's how you end up to the next place. This section, if you can see, we have built a nice ramp to it.
Yeah.
But then again, there are two part for it. One is a little comfier one for novice people, and another one is filled up with pile of rocks. So you again, the thing is that you always want even facing pointing downwards, you still want to load your rear. You don't want that front to be compressed, and if you have full compression on your front, you'll always get a bottoming feel, and then you can't steer here and then, and all your compression is used up because you're loaded onto your front. You want to sit back, keep your front unloaded, let that suspension do that work, let that suspension make the front tire roll to the next stone, and then that's how you're going to get off to it. And another one is a much simpler one, but this is also will teach you how to get onto a loop hoops is what they call it in MX tracks. So it's just going up and down, but we have changed a little bit. The coming down part is basically half cut logs. As you can see, these are kept at that angle where you can just roll over them. So that's how it is. So we have the same thing onto the rocks also. You come through it and then you go on it. So these are placed in such manner that you will roll onto it. You will not use that front compression. You will let that front compression do its work. Don't use entire compression because you want steering feedback. If they are used entirely used, you will never have that steering feedback onto it.
Correct.
So as we can move further, we have another one, but this is basically a little incomplete. So what we are going to have into this obstacle is there are two lines again, the right one. So we are going to place tires here in crisscross pattern. One will be on your left, then another one will be at a distance on the right, and then another one will be distant on the left. So you have to you have to plan your way through and around it. You have to pick the sweetest line and the comfiest line for yourself, not for the not by looking at other people going through it. And again this another one we are going this is a little extreme and for like expert and what do you call thoda experienced riders. So what we are going to do is we are going to have a small wall, 2 feet wall, and again they are going to be placed in such manner that you have to make your way around it. So you compress that front, you pivot your bike on the left, and then you go on the left, and then again you compress your bike, you come on the right. That's how you're going to make your way through, and then again get down using the log ramp on the left, and then for the novice one it's just a ramp, you just go down. So again always remember that don't use a lot of compression on your front, because front bottoming will always pump your arms so much that you are always trying so hard to correct it. So the more you float your front, the more easier it gets on your arms, so that you always have a good nice feel of your levers, nice feel of your throttle. Always remember that. And then after that you come up here, and this is called 50-50. It's basically a seesaw. So there are two lines to it. One is the less wider and one is a little wider. So the experienced riders will go from the less wider, the non-experienced and this is one on the right, which is a little slightly wider. So you have space to keep your feet down if you want to. If somebody is again having the fear of going to heights and having a fear of coming down without even having the control over it, how it's going to come. So one of the thing is that is what this obstacle will teach you, that a lot of things are going to surprise you. You have to get familiar with these surprises and try not to overreact to it and do things which are making you off balance and going off the bar or going off the pegs always. So this is going to teach you that. So yeah, pretty. That's pretty much what we have right now. As I said, this is basically 50% of what we wanted to do.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's that's it.
That's that. So when do we expect the track to be completely ready now?
So basically, since now the rains are in favor with us, and we are going to start. Of course, after this, we are going to start with the rest of the work. So probably in 2 weeks' time or like 16 days is what we are targeting.
Okay.
After that, it will be 100% constructed and open for everybody.
So Mukul, I remember we spoke about this place, this idea, I think last year.
Yep.
Yeah, just before the second wave of
COVID, yeah.
COVID happened, I think we spoke about this.
Yep.
And you guys had a nice vision, and I'm glad to see the vision come alive.
Thank you
know,
so much.
It really looks great.
Thank you so much.
It looks very intimidating. Let me be honest, but with all the stuff that we've seen today, riders going up and down all these obstacles, and now Giri also dumbing it down
Yep.
for everyone. It's really nice. So congratulations.
Thank you
on
so
that.
much, Rohit.
So I asked this question to Giri as well. I'll again ask this to you. So who all are a part of this idea? That's one. And what are your objectives with Dirtlog 100?
Right.
Of course, the main objective is for everyone to come here, have fun, in a different way.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And that's nice. But it has to make business sense as well.
Of course.
Because we've seen places like these come up, but not having the right business idea. But you have proved your business ideas with Autolog, and it's doing very well for you. So I want to hear from you the business end of things. How are you planning to monetize this, or how are you planning to make sure that this keeps on growing
Right.
and doesn't stop here?
Absolutely. Thank you, first of all, for everything you said. And yeah, I think we, in a way, started off with the track plan 3 years ago, where we did some different kind of track related stuff, but we were aware of our limitations in terms of space. So the concept of coming up with an obstacle course is something that we thought of last year when we discussed it. And with everyone heading towards going on trail rides and stuff like that, we thought it was the perfect mix, where India already, has a lot of guys who are going on trails, but a place where you can hone your skills, improve what you've already learned maybe, and learn new stuff under guided professionals like Suraj and Yash and of course Rishi. So the objective was to be the ultimate trail test. So we're trying to make it, it's going to evolve. Every obstacle is probably going to be tweaked over the next couple of weeks and months. And we want to offer it to people on a regular basis. So it's going to be like you can register and get a package. So you could have different, it depends on how regularly you plan to do it. So if you plan to do it really regularly, then you have a package where you can get 8 to 10 sessions in a month. So we've got different packages for different people. But the idea being that you should want to come here and improve. So all the different aspects that you would deal with on the trail, right from balance to precision to weight management and stuff like that, there are obstacles which teach you a little bit of each of those things. So the plan is to evolve it. We are also learning. It's our first attempt. I am not really an avid off-roader. So Suraj was more or less in charge of getting this all together. And like he mentioned, it's 100 kmph and Autolog that came together to make this happen. And thankfully we got a great partner with Castrol. So they've been super helpful. And I think over the next couple of years, we'll be able to evolve this into a much more approachable and maybe in a couple of more cities as well. So I think our objective would be for it to be a test where you can ride from a motorcycle to prove itself, a rider to prove himself. We have a national leaderboard, so people across the country should be competing and saying I'm on top. So that's the objective, and we hope that we'll be able to take it across more cities soon. But next couple of months should be fun.
That should be great, Mukul. Definitely looking forward to that. One quick query, I'm sure a lot of viewers are going to ask, how much does it cost to, do a, should I call it a track day or a session here?
Yeah, I think sessions should be fine. Yeah, so we'll have it's going to be open all year round.
Okay.
So that's probably one of our differentiators. It's not a temporary setup. It's not going to like go away next month. So you could do a day package. You could do a weekend package. We could have a long-term training session package done for you. It's completely up to the person who wants to come and learn.
Right.
So we'll have the trainers here whenever anyone's coming and riding. No one rides here without a trainer being here.
Okay.
So yeah, I guess that's how.
But what would the cost structure be like? Have you guys planned the cost structure here?
Yes, we've developed the packages ranging from $1,000 to 7,500.
Okay.
Where the 1,000 one is the lowest. You get some basic stuff in it, but the training sessions come from 2,500 wala packages onwards, where you would have 2 free training sessions that come in it along with 4 free practices.
Right.
So these will be up on our website soon, dirtlog100.com. So we'll be sharing that very soon.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Mukul, and
Thank
all the
you,
best for
Rohit.
the initiative. We really look forward to riding.
Thank you.
Super.